For many years, spectacular looking new action game IPs kept being announced from mainland Asia, from previously unknown developers or mobile game divisions, but they often disappeared forever, which made me doubt that any of them would ever come out. Now that games such as Wukong and Stellar Blade actually did release and even looked like what they promised, my worldview has admittedly been thrown for a loop. Phantom Blade Zero was another one of those Asian games whose trailers looked suspiciously like vaporware, or at least like it was deceiving in its presentation. Once again shocked, I played a very solid build of the title at Gamescom that really looks like it was promoted. Well, maybe not entirely. I got the impression that this was more of a traditional action game, but no, actually it's yet another Chinese game heavily inspired by From Software. But to be fair, it does seem to have its own identity, and if I had the opportunity, I would have continued playing. It's more of a mixture of various inspirations. The action is reminiscent of titles such as Devil May Cry, where the focus is on combos of light and strong attacks, and Souls elements are comparable to titles such as Nioh or Sekiro. So the aim is to drain the stamina of individually targeted opponents in one-to-one duels and either evade or counter their attacks in time. There are two types of counterattack in Phantom Blade. Strong attacks with a blue marking must be blocked in time with a weapon, while red attacks must be evaded. In both cases you'll get a big advantage. A temporary special attack is activated with the shoulder button, with which the protagonist falls into a kind of sword dance, which resembles some of the fast-paced attacks in the trailers. Considering the sheer number of Souls clones, this doesn't sound particularly earth-shattering. However, Phantom Blade also seems to do little wrong. The controls are easy to master for genre veterans, and the difficulty level feels challenging but not frustrating. The biggest challenge has been to react correctly to the two colors when dodging strong attacks. The big boss of the demo had one-hit KO attacks which felt slightly janky, but overall I only died 4 times in the relatively large demo. By the way, so far Phantom Blade Zero didn't seem like a boss rush game like Wukong, but to feature at least dedicated levels. Also, the game stands out with its relatively underused setting. The gloomy mountain backdrop inspired by Chinese legends was very pleasing to look at, and I found the edgy main character and horror-themed stages more appealing than Wukong. And to be frank, even though Nioh 2 was one of my favorite action games of this type last generation, Team Ninja is treading water and the games feel stuck with the same mechanics and low budgets. While Phantom Blade Zero feels like the next step for games such as Nioh and Wo Long.